Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce. Joyce, I am in the Blair Witch Project right here.
You are. We are back in 1999, apparently, which is the first year of movies if you go by the Oscars cheer moment nominees. So
yes, they threw it all the way back for the Oscars cheer moment to The Matrix for Bullet Time. That was when movies first started. I
mean, I love the year 1999.
It was great,
but I was not aware that was the first year of movies.
It was a great, it's hard to remember all the way back to 1999.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, Joyce, we're not here to talk about Oscars #cheer moment, though. I would wonder, can Dreamgirls win in that competition?
I mean,
the competitors.
Congratulations to J HUD for breaking into, the superhero matrix.
Yes.
With stranglehold.
When I think of cheer moments in cinematic history, I think Avengers Assemble and then Dreamgirls. So I'm way in on that. Great job, Oscars. But no, we're not here to talk about the Oscars cheer moment. We're here to talk about the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which just finished up. That's why I'm doing this in the pitch black of night with my Amazon ring light, and you're doing it in a nicely lit room,
which is just like my living room light.
But the Screen Actors Guild Awards, a lot of fun. Joyce, what were your top? We're gonna start with the film, and we'll do the TV at the end. But film, Coda won
TV,
best
most important. That's why it's last.
Yeah, it's last in our heart. Last in the show, first in our hearts, right? No, Coda won best ensemble. If you're just watching this and like, what won? Coda won best ensemble. Will Smith best actor. Jessica Chastain best actress. Ariana DeBose best supporting actress, and Troy Kotzer for best supporting actor. But Joyce, Coda best ensemble winner. I said Coda. We talked about this last week. I was in on Coda, in on Troy Kotzer. I got 2 for 2.
It went 2 for 2 when I was like, is it strong enough to go 2 for 2? And it was. And, I completely bombed like both sides. I think I only got Ariana right on this because you convinced me to change to Shang-Chi in stunts.
So we both aided on Shang-Chi. I apologize.
But I just decided I was prepared to bomb because I was like, I'm going to try something new and just like keep what I had like from January 12th. And because there were just a lot of strong arguments for everyone, or like, the top contenders basically. And, Ensemble was a mess.
Ensemble was tough.
Yeah. So nothing really totally surprising though, even though I only predicted one of them to win, but like everyone else I had in second. So
exactly right. I was not surprised by any of the film winners. I would say for Coda, I picked Coda to win. Watching the show, I felt like after Troy Kotzer won, and then after they did the Coda, like, not a clip from the film or whatever, when they came out for that, I was like, oh, this is gonna win. I just felt like it was gonna win. And if it wasn't gonna win, like we had talked about, I really felt like King Richard was the alternate. You could just tell. I feel like for me, when I'm watching these shows, I'm like, you could just tell what's gonna like has any kind of momentum. The other movies felt like they weren't even in contention. Like Belfast,
you like to grade the applausometer.
Yeah, I do. And I'm like in the room, like I was like, Belfast might as well not have existed in the room. Same with like Don't Look Up. And then House of Gucci actually had the best clip, I would argue. Their clip package was awesome. So good for them.
The House of Gucci, it's marketing material, like it's trailers and everything, and that montage tonight, A+.
Incredible.
And the movie's a little dicey, but the marketing material is top notch.
And they even got Jared Leto and Lady Gaga to come out and do Boof. They said Boof.
Amazing.
Great moment. But no, so I felt like Coda or King Richard were like the 2 top ones in the room, and Coda won, and it was a great
also it speaks to what we've talked about before, how Coda and King Richard are the crowd pleaser films of the year, not necessarily Belfast, which has been its tag since like Telluride.
Correct. And I think we've talked about SAG with 160,000 members, SAG-AFTRA, it definitely is going to lean towards crowd pleaser. And I would say Coda is definitely in keeping with recent winners in the ensemble category, including last year. I think Chicago 7 would qualify as a crowd pleaser, or at least even if it doesn't seem like it is, it kind of ends on like a weird crowd pleasing moment, I would argue. They're literally like, it's a strain. It's fine. Like whatever. Black Panther, obviously, Hidden Figures, Little Miss Sunshine back, which I think is the comp for Coda for sure. And there you go. So Coda off to the races. We were in our Slack here. I saw people wondering if Coda is now the number 2 behind
No.
Power of the Dog for the Oscars. And I said to you, what if Coda just straight up wins Best Picture? I don't want to get too high on the SAG supply, but I do.
I'll move Coda up. I mean, it went 2 for 2.
It went 2 for 2, and it only at the Oscars it has Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, this is not here. Let me. So
and Best.
Yeah, this is an Ensemble award.
Right.
Best Picture obviously is for like the film itself.
Yes.
So a SAG Ensemble only has, of the previous 26 winners, they only have a 12 out of 26 correlation. This award did not exist at the first SAG award, so It started in the second. And then they've been mismatching a lot in the last 5 years. So the only match in the last 5 years is Parasite, which was like lightning in a bottle.
Right.
Last year.
I don't think Coda is Parasite.
No, I think Coda is more like a Hidden Figures to me.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I definitely think it's going to be strong. I wish it would have gotten more. I think for it to beat Power of the Dog with its 12 nominations, it needed another 1 or 2 nominations. It needed.
It has director. 3, like nothing but it should have been able to get song over Down to Joy.
Song or Best Editing or any kind of like additional category beyond,
or even like pulling Marley, even though she was kind of like really in the skids like later on in the season, but and then also in the last 5 years at SAG they did not nominate Shape of Water for Ensemble,
right?
Did not nominate Green Book for Ensemble. Correct. Did not nominate Nomadland for Ensemble, but we expected that anyway. So yeah.
So I'm not ready to move Coda to first yet, but I do think, like we had talked about, it is definitely the crowd. I think that and King Richard are the 2 crowd pleasers of the race. Though I wonder, I don't know if you were watching. We were texting back and forth this weekend. A lot of enthusiasm for West Side Story as it heads to streaming.
Yeah.
And I wonder.
I have a lot of thoughts on that. I don't want to derail this. Maybe we do this on Wednesday because that's also when it hits HBO Max and Disney Plus. I have a lot lot of thoughts.
So perhaps we could table that for that.
We'll table, yeah.
I'm just saying there's going to be other options besides Coda to take down, if it will, Power of the Dog. But it was a great night for Coda. One person I actually think, while Coda I don't think is going to maybe win Best Picture, I do think that tonight put Troy Kotsur in the driver's seat for Best Supporting Actor. We had talked about this last week. I think he is like an incredibly engaging presence. His performance is beloved. It's a great movie that people really like. And if you go through the nominations, Power of the Dog is going to win a ton of Oscars. Coda could arguably not win any. And I do think it's like actually really liked, even though it only got 3 nominations. And I think he would be the one to win because I don't believe that Sean Hayter probably will beat Jane Campion in Best Adapted Screenplay. Like we were just saying, for Best Picture, it's got an uphill battle there, but I think Troy Kotsur could really beat up, make a play on Cody Smith. He's gonna beat up Cody Smith McPhee. No, I think he could beat Cody Smith McPhee at the Oscars. Joyce.
I don't think he's gonna win BAFTA. I mean, it'll be like really. I mean, obviously, great for him if he does. I think Cody can still win BAFTA, or maybe even like Kieran Hines win BAFTA. The funny thing is like I know everyone is gonna compare Troy's win here to Yoon last year because people weren't really expecting her to win SAG because since the merger with SAG with AFTRA, they've never awarded a foreign language and non-English language performance, and she won that. But I can't describe it, but last year, even before she won SAG, I felt like she was going to win BAFTA. And I didn't need her winning SAG for me to feel like she was going to win BAFTA and the Oscar. And with Troy, I don't know if he can win BAFTA. Obviously, if he wins it, then it's like, oh, he's going to win the Oscar, Right. But what I think this win tonight solidified for him is he's going to win Critics' Choice. So, I think if Cody had won tonight, I feel like Critics' Choice would have tied the 2 of them.
So he's going to end up with Critics' Choice. I think you're right. I think he has SAG. Obviously, I could see. I actually think Kieran Hines might win BAFTA. I do think we're trending towards that. And I guess it's possible that Cody Smith McPhee could then be just come in there and not having won a ton of critics prizes. And obviously, was a huge front runner early on, and then win the Oscar. I don't think it's out of the question, but I just think when you're I feel like when I'm sitting here watching these shows, I'm like, of course he's gonna, you know what I mean? I just watching it happen, you're like, oh yeah, of course that Troy Kotsur won. And I just think that's gonna happen at the Oscars. I don't know.
Well, I think the other thing is like clearly actors are here for Coda. It won 2 awards tonight.
Right.
Troy, I guess, maybe could dominate the acting branch when it comes to the winners of the Oscars. But then what about the rest of the membership? Like, are they also gonna vote for him when Power of the Dog has 12 nominations? Or, you know, even like Kieran Hines, who's like a veteran character actor, like similar nominee profile to Troy as well.
I think that's true, but I'm wondering now if like, because we had talked about this, like I think in our column maybe on Friday, like Troy and Kieran are like kind of like in the same character boat because they're like the paternal figures. But I'm now wondering, having watched the SAG Awards, if like Cody and Kieran end up in the same boat because they're like the, you know, if the actors are in the tank for Troy, the Academy at large is going to split between Cody and Kieran because of like the similar, or because obviously Belfast is a strong Oscar nominee as well. And maybe there's some people who are going to be wowed by that performance and some by Cody. And then kind of like Troy sneaks in on the strength of the actors. I just think the other thing is I just don't believe that Cody is going to leave without winning an Oscar, because I do think it's like really, really well liked. And I don't know where else it could win. So that was,
well, yeah, this is like its best place to win.
That's really it. So that's kind of why I'm going to end up probably picking him to go all the way. And I thought his speech was wonderful. I thought his speech was like,
yeah,
really
his speech was great. We knew his speech would be good if he were to win.
The speeches were awesome tonight, I would say.
Amazing speeches. The thing I'll say about like Kieran like possibly upsetting Cody or going after the same demo, I don't think that's accurate, even if it's like they're the top 2 best picture frontrunners, because like clearly, you know, the acting branch at least was not like here for Belfast. Like it,
right,
you know, only got Kieran in supporting actor, and then we got the Judi Dench, Katrina Balfe swap there. Meanwhile, like Power of the Dog got 4 acting nominations, you know, the Jesse Plemons coattail. So like I think Power of the Dog is stronger overall than Belfast. I think Belfast not winning anything at all tonight works in Power of the Dog's favor overall for best picture. Like Power of the Dog obviously did not win anything either, but also kind of expected, it's just like how we expected it not to make Ensemble at SAG.
Right. So. And if it wasn't going to win Cody, I didn't have it winning anything, because I was like, I don't think Benedict.
Like Benedict was never winning here. And Kirsten was not going to win, unfortunately. Like supporting actress just locked for Ariana. So.
Yeah, that category feels like it's wrapped up. I feel like that's going to be one they give away early in the show, probably even before cheer moment, and then she's just going to win and go home.
Do you think they thought about like, you know, making that one of the 8 in the pre-show? Is like it's just locked for her.
I mean, honestly, they actually could have, but I'm sure they would have gotten just destroyed.
Because actors are the most important. Okay, you can't cut them.
Yeah, that's true. No, I definitely think that one's locked and nothing. And so that was the so Troy and those are the 2 supporting categories. So you're gonna stick with Cody. I don't think it's not. I wonder. We'll see.
I mean, I have Cody for now. Like we still have BAFTA. We see what happens with BAFTA. I change it as we move along.
I think we'll see in the odds that race narrowing now. I think a lot more people.
People have definitely switched to Troy since the show ended. Troy, for sure.
Right. Yeah. We're recording this at like 10:30 on the East Coast. I'm sure by tomorrow morning, Monday morning, it'll be.
But this is great. Like I don't like sweeps. I don't like the same winners in every category. Like even though this is my eternal dilemma. Like I don't want sweeps. No offense to any of these actors. It's just more exciting for us when there's not a sweep. But then, you know, sometimes I'm predicting something that constitutes or contributes to a sweep.
Right.
So
it's tough. Yeah. I would say this about the last thing on supporting actor, I guess, before we talk about it more probably in a million times between now and the Oscars. I think that Cody, more than Troy, actually needed to make. I feel like because of the way the season is played out without a lot of televised stuff, this is like the first major big award show that was like on TV that felt like a pre-pandemic kind of event. And that was just like, you're watching these speeches. I think an actor like Cody maybe needed a moment to like not introduce himself. Cause like we talked about, he's not like a newcomer and he's been in a billion things and like is like pretty, you know, he's like almost 30 and it's not like a kid. I think he needed 25. Like, sure. He's not like Jude Hill, you know what I mean? He's not like a kid. I don't know. I think he needed like a little, like little FaceTime with not just the actors, but like the TV audiences. And I think Troy has gotten that because he's been very, very out front and done a lot of interviews and all these different things. And you're kind of like,
well, Cody's done interviews too, but yeah, he has not had a chance to give a televised speech yet.
Right.
But
I think
although, no shade, but like how many people are watching?
The SAG Awards, it's going to be in the dozens, Joyce, certainly, I would believe.
Like we're already two of them, so.
We loved it. We loved it. It was great. So those are the supporting categories. In the lead categories, we talked a lot about Best Actor, Will and Andrew Garfield. I thought you made great points for Andrew Garfield. I almost switched. I was literally, I went through it and I was like, I should really switch.
I had to go down with the ship because I have had him since December. And, I mentioned this last week, a friend of a friend who is in SAG, I found out his picks and he did vote for Andrew. So I was listening back to what you were saying and I was like, wow, Joyce is so right. And I was like, it really is going to be crazy if Andrew Garfield doesn't win. And I almost switched it, but I was like, I'm going to stick with Will because if I switch off, I'll be so upset. Will is the smart choice. I just had to go down the ship. And then I was like, like I said last time, if I switched off of him and he actually won, like I would hate myself.
Right.
So and this was his best chance to win something. Like he can't win BAFTA. And I don't think he's winning the Oscar. So
now we're going to go into BAFTA with Will and Benedict as like the top two. And then Oscars. I think this really helped Will.
Oh yeah. This basically, I think locked it up for him. Like that was a good speech.
It's really good.
Like Denzel
really
was the first one to stand up for him.
Really good speech. And that was another reason, not to sound like another hack, but I was like, that was when I was like, Will's winning the Oscar because Denzel was hyped for him. Denzel was so in on it. And he was like
also remember, I think it was was it even September? Oh my God, it was so early that I think it was Esquire, maybe GQ, one of those Will Smith profiles. And, very extensive. It was also pegged to his book that came out in November around the same time as King Richard. And, within that profile, he talked about like his relationship with Denzel and how he like talks to him and like gets like advice from him and stuff. And Will turned 50 in 2018 and like Denzel told him like your 50s are great because it's like the fuck at 50s, right? So like they're pals. So like it makes complete sense that Denzel is totally hyped for him, and Denzel's probably voting for him too at the Oscars.
I get the feeling that he is. Denzel was like, I've honestly not seen Denzel that thrilled about something in a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. It kind of reminds me of, remember when like Jennifer Lawrence like did not care to win at all for American Hustle. It was like right after Silver Linings Playbook, and she was very well aware that she should not be winning 2 Oscars at 23. So she was basically like campaigning for Lupita Nyong'o. Like I'm pretty sure that J-Law voted for Lupita that year.
I'm sure. And I think Denzel is like in on Will. I think he's like, I beat Will once for trading.
Yeah, like he can exact revenge. It's cool.
It's fine.
Completely fine. Yeah.
And I was like, Will's speech was great. I thought his speech was so on point. And I think the crowd really warmed to him. I mean, like it was like a solid speech.
Mm-hmm. I love the shout out to Oracene, which, my favorite Williams. She's the best. I love Oracene.
Love the shout out to Oracene. Yeah. Love the shout out to Anjanae Ellis. And like,
and Venus was there. Yeah.
Unjustly not nominated by SAG somehow. Anjanae.
Still weird.
And I love that Demi and Sanaya Sidney and Demi Singleton, he gave nice shout outs to as well. Really good speech. So I was like, Will's winning. Great. Can't wait. Love Will. Give Will Smith an Oscar. Very in on that.
Like I think Benedict is still winning BAFTA.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't know how Will would stop. What would stop Will from winning the Oscar at this point? I don't know. And especially because King Richard, like we had talked about, really did not a little bit overperform, I think, at the Oscars. It got 6 nominations, the best editing nomination, screenplay nomination, which it easily could have not gotten those 2. And that it did, I feel like shows that there is a lot of embrace of that movie. And I think that's just going to help.
It's actually like a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, it is. It's a very enjoyable movie. And then Best Actress Choice, we love it. I know they said last week they're going to make, they made a point to stick it to Steven Soderbergh and be like, with Best Picture last. But I got to say, they should really rethink it and just throw Best Actress last.
I'm telling you, if they had said Best Actress last, everyone would be like, that's totally fine with this idea.
If they really want to embrace the cheer moments, Best Actress should be last because it is unhinged as usual. Jessica Chastain.
So happy.
It's funny. You were a little bit ahead of me, I think, on the feed. So we were on Slack and you were like all caps, I think, like chaos. And I was like, in my head,
you just knew Nicole lost.
Well, I knew Nicole lost and I actually thought Lady Gaga won. That would have been maximum chaos.
That would have been maximum chaos. Oh my god.
But no, Jessica Chastain won. We had talked about her as like she was really campaigning for it. I feel like for SAG, she was
and
like,
a very SAG-friendly performance.
Very SAG-friendly performance, and we had talked about it for a while as like a potential to win at SAG. Neither one of us predicted her. No, we stuck with Nicole, went down with the ship. Nicole Kidman seemed very pleased that Jessica Chastain won.
Nicole Kidman still hasn't won a SAG for film.
Pretty remarkable. What's it going to take? I feel like, I don't know. So now I don't know what to think of Best Actress. I don't know if Jessica Chastain can win, but she could.
I need to like think about this more. I need a couple more sleeps on this. Maybe we'll talk more about this on Wednesday.
I think I would say this, one of the prevailing early narratives I've seen is that does this push Kristen Stewart into it now? Because if you're arguing like whoever wins a BAFTA, very deserving winner, whenever that might be, will not affect the Oscar race because none of the Oscar nominees are nominated at BAFTA somehow. So now you're going to go into Critics' Choice Awards where they'll probably put like a four-way tie maybe between Olivia Colman, Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain.
No, this
would
just give. It's like similar to like Troy and Cody. Like I think Jessica winning here, basically just locks up Critics' Choice for Kristen Stewart. And because if like Nicole had won, it would be like, is it going to be a tie?
Yeah.
Or solo Kristen, you know? But yeah, we could have different winners everywhere again, which is what I want. So
if Kristen wins at Critics' Choice, that'll like, and if it's a good, that would,
which is the same day as BAFTA.
Yeah. That would rejuvenate Kristen for the Oscars. I don't know. I mean, like,
no, I don't. I don't think she can win only with Critics' Choice with the most divisive movie of the five.
So that's the biggest issue is the movie's very divisive. And I would argue you could actually make the case that maybe Nicole and Being the Ricardos is the second most divisive because it only got the 3 acting.
It is. I mean, we've talked about how weird it's been. Like it's run with like between the guilds and the industry, like with BAFTA and the Academy. Like it's already won 2 Guild Awards.
Yep.
For makeup and hair, or hair specifically, and
set direction, right?
And meanwhile, Tammy Faye did not win a single makeup and hair award at the Guild.
Nominated.
Yeah, nominated, and Tammy Faye has the Oscar nomination for that. So
if Spencer and Being the Ricardos are the 2 most polarizing, then you're left with Lost Daughter for Olivia Colman, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, and Jessica Chastain, Rise of Tammy Faye. And of those, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Well, the thing is like Tammy Faye is not a polarizing film, I don't think, like in the way Spencer is, or even Being the Ricardos, but it's a weak film.
It's what we used to call, when we used to travel, maybe like an airplane movie, which is not a negative. I think it's just it's a very easy watch with this incredible performance. I mean, she is awesome in it. We talked about this from
like she is the movie.
When we saw it, I feel like back. I don't know if we both saw it. I didn't see it in September.
I saw it in like November.
So when we both saw it in November, we both left it being like, she's awesome in it. The movie's fine. It's like totally watchable and like a solid, B basically, but like she's awesome. She's like an A, and it's like, I guess she could win for it. It wouldn't be we've seen way worse movies win for actresses, I would argue, including recently, Joyce. We don't need to mention which, but certainly.
Yeah, and with Best Actress in particular, not a lot of correlation with the Best Picture, right. So they don't need to be, clearly do not need to be in a strong film to win Best Actress.
So I wonder, I don't know, I guess we'll see what Critics' Choice does. I mean, at least the only reason I think Critics' Choice would be important is it could confirm about, like, if Jessica Chastain wins a Critics' Choice, then people are just going to be like, oh, I guess she's winning. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to like kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy, basically. If Kristen Stewart wins, it might, and she gives like a great speech, or the Twitter buzz or whatever is a hashtag cheer moment, then maybe
it will really for sure be a hashtag cheer moment if Kristen wins Critics' Choice. Like it's,
but I mean, it might create more of a dialogue around her, and maybe she ends up like edging ahead. I do think that Nicole Kidman, I probably will move off of her because I just don't know what else she's gonna. Like, would she not win anything and then go and win the Oscar? It just seems like, she
has the Globe. That's right.
It. She has the Globe, but now she doesn't have. If she goes Globe,
she can't get the BAFTA, and
can't get the BAFTA. Lost SAG, lost Critics' Choice.
Not going to get Critics' Choice, I don't think. And she also I have to check I don't think she's even on the Metacritic awards list because like she didn't win anything.
Right. It didn't win a lot
or
of
like she
Oscars.
hasn't won enough to make whatever their top threshold is.
Right.
So yeah, it would be very weird indeed, but I guess it also depends on like how the entire membership feels about all 5 of these performances. Like we know how the acting branch feels about them and like Dina Ricardo specifically.
Right.
And then it's like maybe the entire member, I don't know, they're kind of just apathetic about all of them. It could be the case. I don't know.
We talked about that, and then and we could talk about this again on Wednesdays, not to like totally go all in, but I'm like, this is another case maybe for Penelope Cruz or Olivia Colman who ends up winning.
Yeah, like if they could just all be like evenly split, so it won't take a lot for any one of them to win.
Right. And if those are the best movies, like they're definitely the best movies, I would say, Our Lost Daughter and Parallel Mothers.
Yeah.
So the fact that, and they could continue, maybe that could push them over the top. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So Nicole, not in the Metacritic top 6. The top 6 are Kristen Stewart.
Okay.
She has 17 wins.
Wow.
Olivia Colman with 7 wins. Jessica Chastain with 5. Alana Haim with 6. Lady Gaga with 2. And Penelope Cruz with 3.
The funny thing about Best Actress, I feel like if you did it now, it would be a different lineup.
Oh, for sure.
I think Renate Reinsve for Worst Person in the World. I think you could honestly argue that Alana Haim would make it in. But I guess we'll see.
I don't know. They seem kind of cold on licorice pizza.
I know, but I feel like a little more time. I think maybe she could have gotten in.
I don't know. Do we want to talk about your guy Bradley Cooper?
I mean, that's the last time I guess we'll get to talk about it.
A lot of Bradley Cooper clips in that opening montage of like the year in film, which is like basically his entire performance in the movie.
Yeah. But good for him. Loved it. And I loved that during the show, they had an ad for Licorice Pizza Joyce, which is out on digital this week, which I didn't realize.
Yeah. Several of my friends would love to hear that. So
same. I was like, oh, wow. We were just talking about that tonight. I was like, oh, my wife, she hasn't seen it. I was like, oh, we should really, I can't wait for it to come out. And now it's coming out so we could watch it at home. But yeah, so Bradley Cooper was great. I thought we could do it briefly on the show. Love a tight 2 hours and 10 minutes. Michael Keaton kind of threw a wrench in it, but was like worth it.
But they didn't cut him off.
No.
Bravo.
Great job. Michael Keaton's speech started out like Christine Lottie at the Globes because he was in the bathroom. He did a somersault up on stage.
Amazing.
Did a completely deranged like intro rant, and then ended with this like incredibly tragic, honoring of his nephew who died of a drug overdose. It sounded like just an incredibly moving moment. They showed up. I think Vanessa Hudgens was in the audience crying. A lot of people tearing up. It was really great TV, and it was like, man, Michael Keaton, he rules. He's a good actor, Michael Keaton. His
Emmy speech is, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
We'll talk about this when we do the TV briefly, but I will say after while I didn't switch off switch to Andrew Garfield, you convinced me because you were so eloquently spoken about Evan Peters.
About Zaves.
I switched literally this afternoon before it closed, like 4:55. I was like, I'm switching to Evan Peters. F it. I'm Michael Keaton. God love you, but I'm going. Joyce is right on about this, and he lost. So.
This is why I don't actually try to convince people to change.
You didn't convince me, but you were convincing. It wasn't. I didn't do it because you said to do it, but I was like, you made such salient points. I was like, wow, I really should listen to Joyce. But no, Michael Keaton's speech was great,
and I led you astray. See,
I let you astray on Shang-Chi.
You did.
Brian Cox's speech was also incredible, just unhinged. He came up with a fuck Logan mask with the star on it. Great. Or what was it? A fuck off mask.
He wore that to the premiere back in October as well.
Great moment. I actually didn't think he was there because when they announced the TV nominees, they didn't show him, I don't believe, in the crowd.
The category? I don't remember.
They didn't show him. And I was
maybe he was in the bathroom. I
guess he's not there. He must have been in the bathroom because then he rolled up.
I knew he was there because I saw like photos of him from the carpet. So,
got it.
Yeah.
Just rolled up and bellowed an incredible speech for the Succession winning Ensemble.
And I almost forgot Sarah Snook and Matthew McFadden. So.
Great. He was like, yeah, they're great. Sarah's in Oz, I think he called it.
And he was like, she can't get out.
It's incredible. So that was a great moment. Helen Mirren won the Lifetime Achievement Award. I thought her speech was good. I got to say, a lot of red montage of Helen Mirren, the movie Red, Joyce? Have you ever seen it?
I have not seen that film, but I was mostly furious about the fact that they did not include Teaching Mrs. Tingle, her
pretty
iconic
rough,
film.
right?
Another 1999 film. So
let me ask you this: is that as a viewer, was that the first time you knew who Helen Mirren was? For me, it might have been, honestly. As embarrassing as that might be.
Because I followed the Oscars prior to that, so I knew who she was.
Well, what was she nominated for prior to that? For
The Madness of King George.
Yes, you're right.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
I have never seen that film because I was a child.
Right. So I was a child who was not paying attention, I guess, to Madness of King George, but I was like, oh, Teaching Miss Tingle, I liked because it was from Kevin Williamson, I believe, right? Was the writer?
Yes, Kevin Williamson. It's the I believe the only film he's ever directed.
Right. It was Killing Miss Tingle, and then I think they changed it. But none of that.
Yes, it was. They changed it after Columbine.
Columbine, I would say.
Yeah, because it was 1999.
Right.
Yeah.
Or was it 97? No, it must have been 99.
No, it was 99 because Dawson's Creek, which created by Kevin Williamson, premiered January 20th, 1998, and you bet your ass I watched that.
And Scream was 96, which I saw in the theater.
Scream was 96, Scream 2 was 97, Dawson's Creek was 98.
Right.
And then obviously Katie Holmes is in Teaching Mrs. Tingle because she was the breakout star of
Right. No, I remember. I definitely saw it.
We'll do like a late 90s episode one day.
We should do it. We're just gonna do a Teaching Mrs. Tingle deep dive episode. But no, so Helen Mirren's speech was great. Kate Winslet, unfortunately, not there, but then threw it to Kate Blanchett, who actually made me laugh out loud because she was just like, they just got another Kate. It's like I was like,
I love my Kates. So I felt like they were pandering to me.
That was great. Love that moment. That was a cheer moment. The rest of the show, solid. We could do the TV winners if you want. Comedy wise, not one surprise. Jason Sudeikis, Gene Smart, and the cast of Ted Lasso. I like that they were all the Ted Lasso people were together. I thought that was really fun.
Well, no, Juno Tempo she was the only Ted person physically there.
She must be getting ready to do the press for The Offer, or maybe doing who knows what she's doing, but she was not there. But yeah, that was great. Gene Smart, I thought, had a great speech as well. When do you think Hacks is going to come back? I was thinking about that tonight. It's got to come back.
They're filming it right now, so I could probably maybe another May release because first season was May as well. So that
would be fun. I was like, watching the promos, watching the clips from Hacks. I mean,
that's not a show that needs a lot of post.
No, I was just like, this show's funny. It made me laugh. I love it.
I know, and great speech by her. Her first SAG win. Her first this year was marked her first 2 individual nominations ever. So great for her. And then, love what she said about, no one gets us actors.
Yeah. It was a great night for actors. They really made themselves.
Yeah. Congratulations to actors. They don't get enough recognition.
No, they don't. It was great. I love when they show some humility too, but I was like, it made me laugh. Like Jessica Chastain, I thought her speech was really good, but she was like, she had to catch herself when she was like, she basically did a lot of eyes and bringing Tammy Faye's story to the screen and had to be like, we, which I just thought was funny because I know she produced, was like a driving force behind the movie for years, but it just made me laugh because she didn't write it, obviously. What else for out we were running through early stages of the show, a Squid Game ascendant moment where maybe was going to sweep the drama categories. Lee Jung-jae won for Best Actor, Young Ho-yeon won for Best Actress. So we talked last week about the possibility of Succession splitting the vote and Lee Jung-jae winning. Do you think that happened, or do you think it was just like 160,000 people really, really like Squid Game?
I mean, 160,000 people definitely did like Squid Game a lot, and it's on Netflix. So, but I think, I think the vote split probably did have something to do with it. And I feel like if Squid Game were not as huge of a hit, then Succession could have squeaked out a win here in that category. But I think because Squid Game was so big, it was just easier for him to overcome the 3 of them.
Right. I actually think that's true. While I do think that Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong likely could have.
Yeah, I don't think Kieran was in the running to win.
No, I just think that Kieran. A lot of people really like
amazing reactions from Kieran during Nicholas Braun's "I am an actor" moment. So
what a great moment. Nicholas Braun incredible comic. Just the best. And for Best Actress Joyce, again, in hindsight, watching it, so I had switched. This is when I switched off. We talked about, I was like, I think Elizabeth Moss maybe will win. And then
I wish you stuck with Lizzie.
And then I was like, you know what? This afternoon, I was like, I'm switching to Young Ho Yun because I just think Squid Game is going to win something. And I had Brian Cox winning Best Actor. So I was like, I just have to make it win something.
Make it. You manifested this win.
And then she won. But again, looking at the category, like we had said on last week, Sarah Snook from Succession maybe is like the runner-up here in theory or in our minds, but she's a supporting performance.
She's a winner
Jennifer
in our
Aniston,
hearts.
Right. And Reese Witherspoon for The Morning Show. And then Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale. Not a lot of buzz on that performance. And Squid Game is Squid Game. And you know, it's a great performance and she won. So I thought those speeches were awesome. I really liked them a lot. I thought the room was really excited for them to win. And I do think that people really expected maybe Squid Game then to sweep it. But then Succession obviously won Best Ensemble. And I was not surprised by that again, just because I was like, well, it is a great ensemble. You can't
it's like if Succession could only win one award, that is the one it deserves to win the most.
Yes.
Because that is it's the most ensemble out of all of the nominees. And it is such, I mean, even though like AFTRA is part of it now, you know, it's not solely actors. I feel like when you watch the show, it's just, that is how an acting ensemble works. And you just have an appreciation for how they play off of each other. So I'm happy they pulled that out.
It was great. It was a great moment. Brian Cox just storming up there. So I think if we're looking ahead to Emmys, I forgot who it was, Joyce. Michael Schneider maybe was like Squid Game drama frontrunner. I don't believe that. I still think Succession is. So
the thing with Squid Game is like, it was always going to perform the best here.
Right.
Because like SAG is just so populist and just a very middlebrow crowd.
Sure.
And it reminds me of Stranger Things, another huge Netflix populist hit that also won the Ensemble Award. And I remember like when it came to the Emmys for its first season, people were predicting it to win and like predicting Millie Bobby Brown to win and stuff. I'm like, I don't think it's just like the Emmys are not going to go like that far to not, I don't think they have like necessarily a bias against it, you know, but it just doesn't, there are other shows in the running that have more going for them overall. And I think it's still going to be tough to beat Succession. And we have like other stuff that we know the Emmy voters like Ozark.
And Stranger Things. I mean, there's other popular things too coming, right? Like Stranger Things will be in here for the Emmys and stuff.
Yeah, like Better Call Saul's back, even though that's never won anything, but it'll get its place back as a nominee. Killing Eve is back for its final season. And then there's, you know, the new shows that could pop up. So like Winning Time, which I just watched all the screeners for.
You finished all of them. Wow. I've only watched the first one. Very excited for that.
I have a lot of thoughts on that one.
I can't wait. Can't wait to talk about that.
I think the embargo's up tomorrow. So
that's great. No, but Succession, great. I can't wait for it to win a bunch of Emmys. And that was really it, right? Did we miss any categories here?
Kate Winslet won as expected. Right. I love that, you know, they let her zoom in to present to Helen Mirren, but then they didn't let her zoom her speech.
I imagine she was pre-taped for the Helen Mirren thing, and then
but like she could still. I mean, they sent the SAG statuettes to the TED people.
Yes.
In London, so they could have asked her to do something.
Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons had to awkwardly accept her actor. Joyce, how over under on the amount of people who did the "oh, it's so heavy" gag? I saw at least 2. Kieran Culkin did it, and I forget who else. Great, Gene Smart did it. So.
There's going to be a ton of them backstage when they're all signing their certificates to like get the award. I think the SAG award's like 14 pounds or something. Like
it's pretty heavy.
11. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. But yeah, I love Salma Hayek just awkwardly waiting for Michael Keaton.
That was great. That was a great moment of live TV. I would say like I saw a lot of chatter on the Twitter, Joyce, about how like this is how it should be and like not cutting off speeches, which I agree with, and like, you know, look at all these great emotional moments you're allowing and comparing it to the Oscars decision to, you know, just kind of destroy their show. as a person who was not totally anti it, I was like, you know what the best part about the SAG Awards is? All these people are like really famous and they're giving speeches. So that kind of helps. I think it's like it's hard to compare this to the Oscars when you have craft people and stuff who aren't as well known giving speeches.
I mean, like, to be fair, there are a lot of amazing moving speeches from below the line people.
Yes.
So we just need to give them the platform to make their speech for it to become like this viral moment.
True. But I would say it's easier when the speech giver is Michael Keaton or an actor.
The thing going for the SAGs is like, it's just actors. So
right.
If you want to see movie stars and TV stars dress up and make speeches, then
this is the show.
Watch the SAG Awards.
And it's 2 hours, which is
it's only 2 hours. They started cutting clips from categories. But just the TV categories, they put the clips back for the film category.
I thought that was really funny. They ended up really only cutting. I only noticed it with actor in a limited series.
They did it for both. Kate and like Michael Keaton.
Kind of like hilarious that they just like total disrespect. They have such disrespect for that category. No ensemble for that category, and then just were like, get the clips out of here. We got
these categories won by Kate Winslet and Michael Keaton. Complete nobody.
We got to show more clips here from the movie stars, the real stars. We got to make
sure. These the drama and comedy ensembles, they don't get their own clip package presented.
What'd you think of the clips for actor and actress? So for actor was
I don't even remember them. Oh no, the Benedict one was bad because that performance is a lot more than just yelling.
It was a weird choice. The Will one was him with Venus at the Net, which
right.
Is like
that was moving. That when I saw the movie, I was like, that's an Oscar clip.
Great Oscar moment. Yeah. It looked like Will was actually getting emotional watching it in the audience. It's such a good scene.
He was like, wow, I'm so good.
I also thought Andrew Garfield's clip could have been better. It was the boho days, right?
I think with musical performances, it's always, do you pick a moment when they're singing and dancing, or do you pick an acting clip? Like for Ariana, it was an acting clip. It wasn't America.
I think they should have done an acting clip for Andrew.
Yeah, but which one? I don't know. I haven't seen this movie since November, so I don't.
Well, an easy one would have been like him with like Ramen de Jesus.
Oh, probably. Right, when he finds out he's HIV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could also done like a different singing one. I know why they picked the boho dates, because it's like it's natural.
Well, why is the most emotional one, right? The one at the Delacorte Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have? Javier Bardem was screaming about communism, I think, and
I mean, I think that's the best option for him.
I think I would have gone maybe with him dressing down Tony Hale. It's a little too many swears.
Oh, like don't like patronize me.
With that part is really great. I think.
Yeah.
And Denzel had you can't really go wrong with the Shakespeare. So
legendary troublemaker, was that what Reese said?
Yes, he's a legendary troublemaker.
What were the actress ones were good. Well, Olivia's was great. They need to do that one for Olivia.
Olivia's was great because it cut right before the stupid kids are going like Blue Lives Matter. That scene is so insane in the movie.
I know. She's gonna cut their little dicks off, and they just play that clip for her at every single show.
So that scene was great. Nicole Kidman had when she's like visualizing the grape stomping for Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain had when she's talking to the HIV positive, doing that
interview
on the
that's
TV.
A good one for her.
Great moment in the movie. And who I'm already
Gaga. What was Gaga?
Gaga was talking to Jack Houston, right? Isn't he in it? About how like when he comes to serve the divorce.
Oh, okay. Her scene with like that like Jaguar like brooch on her shirt.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I was looking at in that scene.
And then I think Jennifer Hudson had one where she was like confronting Forrest Whitaker, I believe. Is that right? Or
yeah, he plays her dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, Olivia Colman best clip.
Olivia Colman best clip, but not there. She was another one who was not there. It looked like.
I mean, she doesn't go to she wasn't there when she was nominated for The Favorite because she was shooting The Crown, and obviously she wasn't physically there last year. So I don't think she's ever been to the SAG Awards.
Incredible. So any last words, Joyce, before we wrap up here? We'll come back on Wednesday, like you said. We'll talk about West Side Story and maybe Licorice Pizza and Best Actress.
I know that now that they're available to the masses.
Now that people can watch them. can't wait for the discourse around licorice pizza to have a third life. It's going to be so
It's gonna be really
fulfilling.
good. Very
It's
excited for it.
Really great. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of good takes, I'm sure. But no, I was thrilled. All my faves won. So I was like way in. Coda won. I was like, yes. Will Smith, yes.
Have you made any changes to your Oscar predictions since?
Not yet, but I really. So I always do this. We did this last year, and I've done this every year. When there's a front runner, I'm always trying to like tie myself into knots to think of a way not to pick the front runner. And so Power of the Dog is obviously the front runner and should win. But I will spend the next 6 weeks or 4 weeks now. It's literally 4 weeks now. Trying to think of ways it won't win. I don't know. I'll come up with Coda,
that's what everyone does.
Come up with King Richard, come up with West Side Story. Those will be the three that I really focus on. Because I think
even though, like I said, even though Power of the Dog went over 3 tonight, it still it came out okay. Because if you believe, as everyone does, that Belfast is number 2, it didn't win anything either. So
I think if Belfast was going to win against Power of the Dog, it needed to win here. Even though I don't think SAG matters that much from an ensemble perspective as like an Oscar, jump off. I do think Belfast needed like hey, Belfast, that's a good alternative. Now everybody's like, hey, Coda's a good alternative. So, it doesn't needed something. Joy, would you say for the acting, if I like right now, gotta say, do all the actors match? Does SAG go 4 for 4 with the actors? Do all these actors win?
I mean, they went 2 for 4 last year.
So not likely.
I would say it probably misses one.
It seems like
it probably like maybe, I think the easiest one to say is actress, right?
It seems like a miss actress, and it could miss supporting actor.
Yeah, I would rank it like actress, supporting actor, lead actor, supporting actress.
Supporting actress would be like an absolute stunner.
Yeah.
If Ariana DeBose did not
she's going to be our sweeper of the season. Congratulations to Ariana DeBose.
And then Will is shaping up pretty strong.
Yeah, like Will, I don't think he's going to win the BAFTA. I mean, if he wins the BAFTA, man, just
lock it up. Just write it up. That's it. Start engraving that Oscar, Will.
Yeah.
You did it.
So so that's the likelihood of
I think
he's likely to correspond.
I think that's fair. All right, Joyce, I'm gonna go and go find the Blair Witch, and you have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Bye.